Several theories try to make sense of this. One centers on pheromones, chemicals ants leave behind as trails, signals, or warnings. These act like a shared language, guiding others toward food, away from danger or into formation. But pheromones alone don't explain adaptability, or memory, or problem-solving. Another theory invokes stigmergy, a process where the environment itself becomes a medium of communication. An ant alters the terrain, another reacts to that alteration, and on it goes. A kind of feedback loop, where the world becomes the message board. This explains spontaneous structures, like bridges or living towers, formed with no prior plan. But both theories struggle with one unsettling feature. The colony can change its mind. When presented with shifting information, it can reverse course, abandon construction, even reassign roles. Some ants that once carried food might switch to guarding the nest. Others take up the task of caring for larvae. No one tells them. The colony simply knows. A third theory steps further. It suggests the colony operates like a neural net, akin to artificial intelligence. With each ant as a node, connections form and dissolve based on task, need, and stimulus. Over time, the system develops emergent intelligence, not encoded in any ant, but in their interactions. This would mean ant colonies are not only alive, but learning. Not with neurons, but with legs, with scent, with contact. A walking, thinking organism, made of 1,000 bodies and no central mind. And here's where it turns. What if the way humans think, within the confines of one brain, isn't the only form of consciousness? What if intelligence can be smeared across bodies, ambient, diffused? What if minds don't need skulls? In that case, the forest floor is crawling with thoughts, some slow, some adaptive, some, like ants, nearly invisible. We don't know if the colony feels or dreams, but when we watch it shift, adapt, and act as one, it's hard to ignore the feeling that something is thinking, and it doesn't look anything like us. They moved in silence, not random, not chaotic, but with a kind of purpose that defied individual thought. A trail of bodies weaving through the forest floor, twisting around roots and rocks like a flowing liquid, but with intention. Then, as if summoned by an invisible command, they stopped. One by one they began to pile, legs linked to legs, backs curved, mandibles locked. Within minutes, they had formed a bridge, alive, pulsing, adapting to the weight of those that walked across it. No blueprints, no leader, no hesitation. The next day, the bridge was gone, dismantled, repurposed. Somewhere else in the forest, they were building again. A different shape, a different task, but the same intelligence, or something that resembled it. And that's the puzzle. Individually, they are among the simplest creatures alive. No memory, no plan, just instinct. Yet together, they solve mazes, calculate optimal paths, coordinate attacks, defend fortresses, evacuate the wounded, even build rafts to survive floods. It's as if each one is just a cell, inside something larger. A brain that walks on thousands of legs, a body with no face, a mind without a skull. Ants don't just live in colonies. They are the colony. And that colony may be alive in a way we still don't fully understand. For most of history, we saw ants as little more than crawling automatons. Primitive, hive-bound insects. Their behavior, digging, foraging, fighting, was chalked up to simple evolutionary programming. A stimulus, a response, no awareness, no flexibility, just reflex, like a machine made of muscle. But that framework began to unravel. Biologists noticed something strange. Ants that were removed from a colony behaved erratically, like a severed nerve twitching without purpose. But once returned, they instantly resumed complex group tasks, responding not to any single signal, but to subtle shifts in the environment and their neighbors' actions. Then came the experiments. In controlled lab mazes, ant colonies found the shortest path to food faster than some algorithms. In simulations of traffic flow, they outperformed human city models. In the wild, they self-assembled bridges, rafts, and living walls without rehearsal. No architect, no overseer, just emergence. The term superorganism was coined, not as a metaphor, but as a literal descriptor. Because when scientists looked closer, they saw something eerie. Each ant wasn't just acting for the colony. It was a part of it. Like neurons in a brain, each small, mostly unaware, but forming a whole far greater than the sum of its parts. The colony breathes, adapts, remembers, forgets. And when it dies, it does so not all at once, but gradually, like a fading mind. So what exactly is this colony mind? And how does it think? The mystery deepens when we ask how decisions are made. There's no central ant giving orders, no queen brain. In fact, the queen does nothing but lay eggs. Decision-making is decentralized, yet efficient. In a swarm of confusion, patterns emerge, paths are chosen, tasks assigned, dangers avoided. In one study, researchers introduced multiple food sources at varying distances. The colony not only chose the closest, but shifted preference if one path became blocked or another became more rewarding. The switch was immediate, collective, and optimal. But what's more chilling is the precision with which they build. Fire ants, for example, can form waterproof rafts in floods, adjusting shape and buoyancy in real time. Army ants create walls and bridges that redistribute load-bearing weight as more ants cross, like muscles adapting to strain. None of the ants understand the whole structure. Yet it stands, moves, evolves. In neuroscience, this kind of pattern is familiar. It's called distributed cognition, when no single node holds all the information, but the system as a whole does. Like the brain, like the internet, like something else. Could it be that ant colonies are a form of intelligence, not within individuals, but between them? And if so, what are the limits of a mind like that?